Hey everybody, Ann Teachworth here with Trunamics, and I just wanted to hop on today and give you some holiday stress busting tips. Yes, I know that the holidays are to be about gratitude and love and the joy and the connection, and I hope and pray that you do experience all of those during this time of year. And also, there's the reality that during this time we might experience a lot of emotional tension and physical stress and tension, and let's be honest, we may eat a little too much of the things that we don't normally eat. We may throw in a little wine and beer to top it all off. So I thought I'd give you some tips from our visceral dynamics class that are really going to help to move from that state of fight or flight as we sort of stress our way through the holidays more into a state of rest and digest, so we can enjoy all of that delicious food that we're going to eat, and we can really enjoy and celebrate our time with friends and family. So we're going to work with the organs today. That's what our visceral class is really all about. And working with the organs is a really quick way to down-regulate the nervous system, really move the body into a state of relaxation, rest, and we just hold a lot of tension, and we underestimate the work that our organs are doing, and we also underestimate the power of working with our organs to help restore health throughout the rest of the body, physically, functionally, and also emotionally. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and we're also just going to embody some of that movement and see if we can experience a little more ease in our bodies right now, today. All right, to start, let's just take a look at the anatomy quickly. It's helpful to see what we're talking about because these aren't things that we typically see. So we're going to take a look at the liver. We're also going to take a look at the stomach, which is this guy right there. And then to consider those, we want to also keep in mind the diaphragm because the movement of the diaphragm is really going to affect the organs, and if that is moving well, all of your organs are getting a nice massage. If all of the spaces between the organs are free of restrictions, there's going to be nice movement, nice fluid. But if there are restrictions, then you're going to experience that throughout the system. You can see how close all of these things are. So we have our diaphragm that attaches to the lower 6 ribs. It actually comes up, it's a lot higher than people think. So we can just put our hands here to help our minds embody where that dome is. And let's just think, so as you tune into your breathing, maybe put a slight bend in your knees, that'll help the movement. As you breathe, do you notice the diaphragm going down or up? It's a little quiz. So as we inhale, the diaphragm goes down. People, your clients, if you were to ask them, they might think that the diaphragm goes up because we often breathe with tension like this. So we're like, well, of course the diaphragm goes up, but actually as we inhale, it's concentrically contracting and it is going down. This is what allows us to breathe. We are negative pressure breathers. So because of this, it creates negative pressure in the lungs and the air is sucked in. So thank you, diaphragm, for keeping us alive. So let's just embody that movement and see if we can, even just through that, notice a change in our system. So we're going to inhale, notice the diaphragm coming down, and exhale, diaphragm floats back up. Inhale, diaphragm moves down. Exhale, comes back up. One more time. Inhale, diaphragm down. And exhale. Can you see that movement of the diaphragm? So those domes are moving down and up. Good. So if you really are engaged with this with me, you will begin to notice the mind settle, the nervous system settle, just as we bring the mind's awareness into the body. That's the power of embodiment. So we have the movement of our diaphragm. It's moving down and up, and all of the organs are underneath the diaphragm. So If this is our diaphragm and these are all of our organs, as the diaphragm is moving down, the organs are being pressed down. But the organs obviously can't go all the way down, right? So there's going to increase pressure in that visceral cavity as well. And this is why we experience the organs moving out a bit as the diaphragm's coming down. So let's just see if we can feel that. So as we inhale, diaphragm goes down and the organs go out. Exhale. Again, slight bend in the knee. Inhale. One more. Inhale, diaphragm down. Organs out. Exhale, diaphragm up. Organs in. Good. So let's get a little bit more specific. So on the left-hand side here, we have a slew of organs that are going to be working hard. We've got our stomach. We're going to focus in on that one. There's also the pancreas, the spleen, the kidney. So if we just take our hands, rub them together, place one on the front and one on the back here, just get a little heat in that stomach area. So we have our esophagus coming down into the stomach, and that comes through the diaphragm. And then the diaphragm is draped over top of these organs. So as we breathe, the diaphragm is pressing down. Those organs are moving down slightly. As we exhale, moving up. Inhale, moving down. Exhale, moving up. One more, inhale and down. And exhale and up. Now we're going to practice moving the diaphragm over those organs. So there's a joint space, really. In this case, the diaphragm would be the socket, and these organs are like the ball. And in a joint space, we want to imagine a nice, slippery, slidey movement. So let's see if we can see that. We have our dome of a diaphragm moving over the organs. Yeah, you could actually think of like the diaphragm is polishing the organs in a way. So we're going to first go through flexion and extension. So we'll just be polishing the organs with the diaphragm, moving forward and back over the stomach, imagining that slippery surface between the diaphragm and the organs. And then we'll do some lateral flexion. So the diaphragm sliding over to the side, over. Diaphragm sliding over the organs. Can you really picture that space between that dome we looked at and the organs? And then we'll do some rotation, and not rotation from the knees, but we want to keep that rotation right in this area so we can really focus in with our minds on that space between the diaphragm and the organs, and rotating the diaphragm as it polishes or shines those organs. Can you really experience that slippery space between there? Once more. Good, and you could even just move around freely, really thinking about that dome of the diaphragm moving over the organs. Yeah, maybe don't do this in the office with all your coworkers, or if they ask what you're doing, you can just tell them it takes a lot of work to stomach them. Yeah, okay, good. So let's check in. What did we do? We just embodied a little bit of the movement in our viscera. So if you take a breath, you may notice now that's fuller here on the side that we brought awareness to. Diaphragm's moving easier, more freely, more movement in the organs there. You may notice actually length on the left side of the body where we've been working. We've begun to release some of those, that superficial fascia and muscles that have been holding us up. Yeah, I feel much longer. You could even test your shoulder mobility. Probably has let go on that side we've worked versus the right side. Yeah, still feeling a little tense on the right side versus much freer on the left side that we did. And definitely the stomach is associated with cervical spine, neck muscles, so you should feel a better range of motion throughout the neck. You know, we can test balance, we can test stability, but what we see is that embodied function improves function. That's why we use the Franklin method to really help therapists understand how the body works and actually embody that function from the inside. Okay, so we've done some good work on the left side of the body, feeling nice and long and open. So let's go ahead and work on the right side of the body. We are gonna focus in on the liver. Liver is associated with processing anger. It also is a master organizer, planner. So as you're going through planning your parties or planning your meals, strategizing your interactions with friends and family, this having a nice happy liver will help you do that well. So liver is pretty large. It actually goes all the way from the right side, and the left lobe comes pretty far over to where we have been working already. So we're just going to imagine again that diaphragm coming over the liver. So we'll move through flexion and extension. Bend in the knees will help. Just going to flex and extend the spine, really thinking about the diaphragm polishing the liver. And we'll do our lateral flexion. You may notice you get hot as we start to work on the liver. There are a lot of processes happening in the liver, releasing a lot of energy. So we're doing our lateral flexion. Also breathe as we do that. Yes, working with multiple functions of the diaphragm. Then we'll do some rotation. Breathing. Imagining that nice slippery surface between the diaphragm and the organs. Good. You could also take the liver and move it through space. So moving the liver forward and back. Can move the liver side to side. We could twist the liver and circle it around. Yeah, just bringing awareness to these organs that are keeping us alive, doing all of our internal body functions, really important for emotional processes, mental process, and we don't ever pay very much attention to it. So as we bring that awareness here, we want to just notice, how does that affect our nervous system? How is this affecting our thinking? You may feel your structure is feeling a little lighter, longer. You can check and see, have we opened up that right shoulder? Yeah, little openness in the right hip now. Great. Very good. So that's just a tiny, tiny taste. Whenever you're finding yourself maybe stressed out or needing to calm down throughout this holiday season, you could just tune in, embody the diaphragm moving down and up. You could imagine moving spaces between the organs and really just giving them some attention and awareness to help them release and relax instead of get all tensed and balled up, which they would tend to do. So this is just a taste of what we do in the Visceral Dynamics class. Franklin Method educator Damian McCann, one of the top in the world. He's really fantastic. He goes through all the embodiments for the organs. So as a practitioner, you have that experience of really knowing where your organs are and how they're moving, which is super important before you even put hands on someone. And then Lynn Teachworth, my husband and top structural, functional, energy medicine educator, teaches you all about the emotional components, the muscles that are associated or governed by different organ system and meridian, and you'll actually learn how to work with each organ and the structural impacts of that and symptoms that people may be experiencing with different organ dysfunction, you know, how it really all goes together and how we can use that to help our clients structurally, functionally, emotionally and energetically. So if you are a practitioner, we would love to see you there. This is a life-changing course for people, and I think we have some coming up in 2018. So check out our website, Trunamics.com, and enjoy your stress-free holidays.